our little virtual webinar here. I'd really like to make this more a roundtable discussion. So I'm going to talk at you for about 20 minutes, and I'm going to throw a lot of stuff at you. And then I'm really looking for some participation and information about how things are going in your classroom, where are your pain points, and what can we really do to create dynamic supplements that can help in the classroom. Now I'm going to start with something I haven't done before. I'm going to turn on my little camera here so that you can actually see me, so you know who I'm talking to. It is very bright here. I'm in Colorado. It's an absolutely beautiful sunny day, but my office does have a lot of windows, so I apologize for the glare. But I did want to introduce myself so you can at least see who you're talking to. Some of you have used my materials. Some of you might be new to my materials, but I'm Paige Baltzan, and I literally dynamically live the life of information systems. I live, breathe, and eat it. I teach everything from freshman to the executive MBA. I love what I do. I love helping my customers. And mostly I just love the business area of technology. Even this morning I was listening to Bloomberg and I heard two things that kind of rocked my world. I'm sure you're all there, where you wonder what is going on. Number one, I heard that Kylie Jenner, who's a Kardashian, and I will claim to fame that I've actually never watched a Kardashian show, but she tweeted that she doesn't like Snapchat, and apparently it lost $1.3 billion for Snapchat in the market today because she has 25 million followers at the ripe old age of 25 years old. And I really thought, what kind of world are my daughters going to grow up in? And the power of social media, it's almost surreal that a single 20-year-old could dynamically, within a moment, kill off $1 billion in the market. So I was kind of shocked at that. And then I heard something exciting, is that with the new machine learning and AI coming, that there's a great new scanner that can scan your shoes at the airport so that we no longer have to take our shoes off. And I'm a business process, I think, live and breathe business process. And I thought, oh my God, if someone could re-engineer the business process at the airport, everyone could win. So every day I hear things and I think about things and I think, how do I help other teachers disseminate this information, and how do I get our students engaged and loving technology as much as I do? So I'm going to turn off my little camera now because it's a little weird to be, I'm not a selfie person, so I'm just going to do that so you know who's talking. Now I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to walk you through a ridiculous amount of PowerPoints that I will share at the end. So you will get all of these PowerPoints, but they're just things I've been thinking about this month alone, that I'm bringing to the class. And one of the issues as an author is obviously once we write the book, McGraw-Hill does such a great job of quality control that it takes quite a bit of time to get through production and check every test question and every PowerPoint and copy edit. So it's always a bit outdated even before it hits the presses. So one of the things is just keeping us current, because the material is always, sorry, I had a little feedback there. The materials, it's just trying to keep engaged and keep the students engaged. And clearly I gave up trying to be ahead of my students because they obviously know more than I do about the new apps they're using or the new whatever they're doing. So just trying to creative ways to keep them engaged and stay up and ahead on what's going on in the technology environment. So first of all, I'd love to do a couple things. I'm going to go over the business-driven approach, which if you're new to my books, you might not be familiar. Then I'm going to go over new teaching materials for the classroom, and then a roundtable so that we can really get some great feedback from all of you and what's going on in your classroom. So number one, this is something I go to every day. You know, a student really learns 10% of what they read. So the multiple choice questions, they're not walking out the door with what they paid to learn. So I'm not a big fan of traditional testing materials and memorization. I'm a big fan of apply, apply, apply. Anytime I can get a student to apply what I've told them, they get it. The light bulbs go on, the classroom becomes electric. And we have a very difficult time doing that as MIS professors because, honestly, we're teaching intangible concepts. We're not teaching accounting where there is a balance sheet and the assets must equal everything and everything works. I mean, we're teaching database, supply chain management, ERP, business intelligence, artificial intelligence, deep learning, deep web. There is no answer. So trying to get them to really bring it to their level and apply it is where you win in this classroom. So that's always my goal with my books, is trying to get all the students that take this, regardless of their major, whether they're marketing, education, I've had political science, all kinds of majors happening in the classroom, and really getting them to that level where they can apply it is where you can win as a teacher. There's so many opportunities in the MIS course. I mean, I can't pick up a magazine, whether it's Entrepreneur, Forbes, Wired, you name it. Business Week. Business Week is my favorite. Every week in Business Week, it's literally about technology. This week on the cover, Mark Zuckerberg beat up. They had him beat up about, you know, his platform. Is it a platform or is it a news feed? So a great article to really get people thinking about. They think it's technology, but it's really starting to impact social areas, political areas. So bringing all that into the classroom, to me, is very easy as an MIS professor. I think if I was accounting or finance, it's really hard to pick up this week's magazine and bring it into the classroom, but there's always an interesting and engaging story to help the students see the relevance of this major in this class. Data. We know this. Data's the new oil. Big data is here. There's so much data. Even grasping my head around how much data is now. My first computer had a 250 megabyte hard drive, and I thought I was swimming in disk space. And now my students come in with 20 gigabytes on a thumb drive, and it's just surreal. So the amount of data, these are going to be the first managers in the history of the world inundated with terabytes of data right on their desktop. And that can be frightening or exciting, depending on whether or not you have the skills to really get through that information. There's a lot going on with data and the business data-driven decisions that we need to teach in the classroom. I see one of the things, and I'm curious if you see this too, is my students tend to think data is truth. And if the data says to do it, they do it. And they seem to have forgotten to put that, you know, intellectual intelligence and knowledge and just gut feeling as well as data, mixing it all together. So a lot of ideas I have on mini cases, and really how do you take that data and get it to that business intelligence and knowledge where you can make informed decisions is where this whole course is kind of headed. I would love now to, I'm going to run through this really quick, so you may feel like an overwhelmed student in your class, but I have so many ideas and engagements, and again, I will be sending out all these PowerPoints to you so you can bring these to the classroom. But this is just a minor brainstorm of mine over the last 2 days of all the things I want to bring in the classroom just today that's going on in the world. So first of all, one of the things is data visualization. I love visualizations. The students love it. They engage in the data in a different way. It's not just the accountant rows and columns. You can make this data tell a story. You can make it live and dynamic. One of the tools we use at DU is called PictoChart. It's absolutely fantastic. The students can get up and running in a matter of minutes. They love it. They have created the most amazing visualizations. And we've actually at DU put together an infographics challenge. We've done, through our alumni department, a crowdsourcing. And the students actually win money if they can put together the best visualization across the info series. And it's really gone off well. It's something that we're really proud of. So if any of you are interested in that, you're welcome to contact me afterwards. And in the notes part of this PowerPoint, I have all the information on our visualization challenge that we give to our freshmen. These are freshmen, and they've really become engaged with data. It's a great way to get them to see the strength of what's going on in the environment. And they've done everything from Harry Potter infographics to music infographics to even textbook cost infographics. So it's been a fantastic win for us and a super fun challenge for your students if you're looking for an engagement in the classroom. This one I love. Obviously our course, I'm not sure about you, and I'm curious to hear, is really morphing towards the analytics. And this is a great little game that's online. I'm sorry, is someone's phone not on mute? I'm hearing a lot of background noise. Curious. It's all good. I can run with it, but it's just like my students in class. But can you just make sure they're on mute so that someone's typing? Not sure. It's all good. I hear that in the classroom. Anyways, this is a great game, and anyone can log into it. And so if you are starting to do simple scatter plots or simple correlations between two variables, you log into this game. It's free. It's fun. The students love it. It has an old graphic field design, and it'll keep showing you different types. Hold on. Sorry. Are you hearing that too, Lisa? Okay.
I heard. I heard. I think we should be okay now.
Okay. And sorry, now I've lost my train of thought. I'll get back there. Okay. Simply, this is a great game to bring to your classroom. It's free, it's online, it has the old feel, and it shows them different scatter plots. And then if you see on the right where it says the true R and my guess, so I guessed it was a 0.85 and it was a 0.89. And so it really is a fun way to get the students starting to think about two variables and how they connect on a correlation. So if you're starting to bring in some of the Excel scatter plots or correlations, how do variables interact, how does data interact, this was really fun. My students love it. And it's a great way to get them to feel for what do two variables look like on the screen. So that's a great thing to take into the classroom. This is obviously one of my favorites, the Internet of Things. Now it's called the Internet of Everything, and I've seen it. I see this every day. I see new things being invented that is tracking our data, where we live, my heart rate every second, whether or not I ate, whether or not I drank or walked, or it's just crazy. But the Internet of Things is here. My fridge is now going to tell me that I'm not healthy. And my stove is going to tell me that my frying pan is too hot for the steak I'm cooking. Again, it's just so exciting to see the things that are coming. And I'm not sure if you've seen the Hans Rosling's video on TED, but it is fantastic. And he goes through 200 countries, 200 years in 4 minutes, and the joy of data. And I actually have a mini assignment I have the students do in Excel that mimic it. And it moves the data through their bubbles, and they love it. It's really easy for the students to start doing their own visualizations. And when they start interacting with the data and make it come alive, they really love the class. So again, in the notes section of this, I have how I do it. And the sample data I use to show the students how easy it is to give an exciting, dynamic presentation instead of just rows and columns. Oh my gosh, the Olympics are on. What a great time to be teaching this course. I love this. I love the Olympics. There's a great website that is tracking every day all of the data on the analytics. There's so much data. And there's a really interesting infographic on GDP and Olympic medal wins, which is a fantastic way to start talking about, is that correlation and is correlation causation? Are the richer companies winning more medals? There's also a good correlation on the countries that are different in the globe and literally living in those, I'm Canadian so I can say this, living in the Arctic temperatures that we do in Canada, and why they're winning so many medals. Also, this amazing new coat by Ralph Lauren that heats up. It is dynamic. It is alive. The coat heats up so our athletes stay warm. And right now, if you are a lucky duck that got one, you can sell it on eBay for about $10,000. So what a great thing to bring into the classroom, not only the e-commerce side of what's going on with the Olympics, but the data side of what's going on. It's just a worldwide platform for seeing how we're interacting, and there's so much going on that you can bring in the classroom today to talk about what's happening. There was also a fantastic article, which I didn't put in here, so talk about a techno flub, is that one of the teams ordered 1,500 eggs, and they used the Google Translate, which didn't come out right, and they ended up with 150,000 eggs. So there you go. You know, you always have the ups and downs of technology, and maybe Google needs to spend a little more time on their Google Translate. But so much going on with the Olympics that you can bring into the classroom to help all of the material we're teaching come alive. Oh, there's so many businesses. I can't even keep up. I actually stopped trying to say I can't. I actually use my students for this. Students are a great resource. Use them. I will come into class and put in a challenge when I'm talking about something new, and I will ask if the students can come up with the best, hottest business that no one's heard of. And it's a great way for them to be doing something exciting, whether it's a supply chain management business, a drone business, an AI business, and that way they have fun kind of researching, and I'll get some good feedback from them from what they think is cool, because I am getting old, and what I think cool isn't always what they think is cool. But there are some great things going on out there. Neuro is a fantastic AI company, really reinventing the robot for delivery. They're going to go head-to-head with the Amazon drones. Time flip, every student needs to know about this, how to manage their time. Most of my students that suffer in the class isn't because they're not smart, it's because they're not time managers, and they can't seem to manage their time. So anytime I give them a tool, even if it's in Excel, a time management tool, I showed a lot of my students even just a template in Excel to manage their schedules. I've had students come back 3 years later going, I still use it. I mean, their time management skills, like all of us, can always use an update. So this is a great slide with lots of I'm sorry, but whoever's talking, your phone's not on mute. So if you could help me out a little bit. Thank you so much. Thank you. No worries. It happens. 3D printing, I don't even know what to think of 3D printing. I have read in so many places that 3D printing is going to have a bigger impact on business than the internet. And I don't know if my brain can even wrap my head around how amazing 3D printing is. I mean, it's going to disrupt the supply chain. It's going to disrupt everything. So just so many things going on with 3D printing, and the students love it, and most of them have had access now. Barnes & Noble actually has 3D printers on site and workshops for students either looking for Raspberry Pi or 3D printing right there. They can go and interact with it. Our school has a 3D printing little kiosk where students can make things, and we use it again as a crowdfunder. So they can make things there and sell them on campus to help raise money for their business sororities and fraternities, whatever they're doing. So 3D printing is always a big hit with what's coming. Drones, of course, drones. Most of your students have probably interacted with a drone. There's so much going on with ethics and privacy, delivery, supply chain, just a million things you can use with drones. Social media, like I said this morning, this just hit the news that Kylie Jenner has 25 million followers at the age of 20 and literally lost Snapchat over $1 billion with her tweet. So, wow, I'm just not even sure how to think about what's coming for businesses in the future. If one 20-year-old has that much power over a corporate entity, it's an interesting world we're going to see. This was great, pop-up shops. I love doing in the classroom. Retail is gone, but pop-up shops are super hot. So everyone is trying to do these little pop-up shops. They get an empty container from an old railroad line. Justin Timberlake just did it in collaboration with his new album launch, and it went crazy. They literally tell you about a day before where the pop-up shop is going to occur. People line up for hours. They sell out and they move on. It's absolutely an interesting way that we're going on the opposite direction from online back to retail. And with the pop-up, there's not a lot of cost. Oh my gosh, anyone could do a pop-up shop. So I do a pop-up challenge in the classroom of what could they do if they could do any pop-up shop on campus today, and the students love it. Again, the notes will, when we send out the PowerPoints, we'll tell you how to do this in the classroom, but this is a great way to extend your e-business to the real population. Warby, the glasses store, Warby Parker's good at it, Amazon is doing pop-up shops. I mean, this is a great trend over the last couple of years that's starting to really take off. Diagramming business processes. Like I said, I think business process, everything's a process to me, and how do I make it efficient, effective, get rid of the bottlenecks? I'm always thinking process. Hence, I was so excited this morning to hear that they're going to scan your shoes and not have to take them off. But anything you can do with the pop-ups or with the business process is great. There's this great tool called SmartDraw. It is a fantastic tool. It's free. I put a little clip there. The students can use it for free. I think they get 10 days. It's not a long time. But they can drag and drop just like Visio, and you can create these amazing flow charts, mind maps if you're teaching database ERDs, balanced scorecards. It's a fantastic free tool to get the students really engaged with business process when you're teaching it, because they're really going through and doing their processes. And again, I have a little competition I do with what's the current as is on campus and how would you like it to be. And number one, the students complain they have two complaints I always hear: the laundry process, and I'm sure they're a little angry they have to do laundry, and the mail delivery. Apparently mail delivery or package delivery is a bit of a pain at our school. So they always have these amazing to-be, and I have them bleed in new technology, whether it's robotic, AI, an app, so that they can really get creative with the material and start seeing the power of understanding the technology behind the business. Capture prep cards. This is something I've been working on, and one of the feedback I get is we're teaching all these things, and we're all tasked with that. We have a wealth of things to teach in this class, and if you're like me, I teach different classes all year. I'm very dynamic. I have to teach all kinds of different classes. So I teach a lot of our coding classes. I teach VBA, I teach Python, but and I teach project management, which I love. but I teach them once a year, and it's funny, a year goes pretty quickly, and you're like, oh my gosh, I have to go back, and what did I do? And so I was trying to think of ways to help the professor that's running into the classroom going, oh, it's been a quarter, I was on a sabbatical, how do I get prepped, you know, as quick as possible to run in there and start getting my synapses firing so that I can remember what I did a year ago or 6 months ago. And for me lately, it's what did I do 3 weeks ago? So this is something I was thinking about, prep card overviews, whether it was by topic, like supply chain, AI, but dynamic, not something that comes with the book, you know, that's updated yearly or every other year, but something every month that I could post somewhere that you could really just pull down like a note card that gave you the highlights, that little ticklers to remember this great story, things like that. That was something I was thinking that would be a great supplement to bring into the classroom. The other thing I've done for years is we built a cohesion case, and it's had just tremendous success. It's just on my own website, baltzan.net, and it really is one of the things we've heard a lot about this course, the MIS course, and I get it. We teach a lot of things, but the student can't always understand how they go together. And so the cohesion name came out of is how do we tell them that ethics, security, CRM, ERP, collaboration, BI, systems development, how does it work? So we built this great little coffee shop. And I love the coffee shop environment because it's very tangible. All students hang out in coffee shops. And so when we start talking about the supply chain, oh my gosh, our major supplier of beans has had a huge hurricane and can't get us. What are we going to do? You know, when you start bringing it to their level and applying it, they love it. And this is a case you can use throughout the whole quarter or semester. I'm not always a huge fan of doing one thing the whole quarter or semester because it gets old, but this is something you can bleed in, you know, every other week or have a group project on. But we've had tremendous feedback on the cohesion case, and I'm looking to create 5 to 7 more different businesses that are more relevant in today to students that they could grapple with, whether it's deploying a new online app or starting an extreme sports store or the Peloton bike, which is one of my huge fans these days, is you want to start an online classes regardless of the machine they're using. I mean, all kinds of things are coming. So it's something we've been toying with, rebuilding quite a few of these if faculty are interested, that can help the students really take all these little pieces and put them together. So at the end of the class, when they walk out the door, they're really understanding the power of this course for their future careers. So right on time, I wanted to end it in a half hour. So that I know is a huge amount of material that I just threw at you, but these are different ideas I have, different things I want to help deploy on a quarterly, maybe monthly basis to faculty to help you get up and prepped every class, to help you bring that dynamic. I know we all love this material, but I also know there's days I wake up going, oh, I got to get to school and I got to teach and you know, I got 800 things going on with my kids and other things, and just trying to always light that fire, because if I walk into the classroom and I'm not super engaged, then I can't expect my students or customers to be engaged. So always lighting that fire, always showing the new things that are coming, always giving you some exciting piece of information that can get the students away from Facebook or Snapchat or Instagram or whatever they're doing while I'm trying to lecture, and really start going, wow, that teacher has something to say. I might want to listen to this. So what I'd really love to do now that I threw that all at you is hear from you all, so we have more of a round table and not just me talking at you. Things you think that are working, where we can help you as McGraw-Hill and an author. Our job is to support our main customer, which is our faculty. And how can we help you? How can we take some of that pressure off of being ready for the classroom, and how can we engage you in different types of thinking so that the students are really engaged when they walk into, that they're excited, that they're like, wow, I can't wait to get to class today. And I'm not going to lie, some of my students tell me that. I can't wait to see what that crazy Professor Baltzan is going to do today. Whether I'm bringing in Play-Doh or a video or a real-life person, I'm always trying to do something to help them really have fun in the class, engage with the material, understand these virtual concepts that they can apply in their life, and make the course a course that they're sad when it ends. That's my goal. So at this point, I am going to stop sharing. I'm going to pass it back to Lisa and stay on the phone so we can do sort of a more open, or I'm going to call her alias Julia, a more engaging round topic. And I know Lisa's been working on some great new products from McGraw-Hill that can really help get dynamic on real-time feedback to professors to take in the classroom today.
Great, thank you, Paige. I believe that I have taken you all off mute. Would somebody be willing to speak and see if we can hear you?
Can you hear me?
Wonderful. Yes, thank you. Okay. So Paige, did you want to, you wanted me to go over and maybe share a little bit about what is on our website right now so people can see where the most recent updates that you would be developing, where we will post?
What I'd love to do, just like in the classroom, I just spoke for a ridiculously long time. I'd love to hear feedback. Positive, negative, derogatory remarks, I'll take them all. So you all spent some time today with us, which I appreciate. I know how busy you are and I value it. And I really love to hear from anyone who's in my boat, who's just trying to make it through the next class. What can we do to help? What new ideas? What did you see that you thought might be interesting, engaging, help you? Is anyone out there? It sounds like my class. Anyone want to talk and nobody talks? But I would love to hear some feedback since we have you and we have your valuable time if you have it.
I'll be happy to go first if there's not anybody else who wants to.
Hey, you got it. Go. And would you mind saying your name?
Yeah, hi. Well, first of all, how many people are on the call? Is it a bunch? Are we talking hundreds or a couple dozen, or what's our number, give or take?
At least 24 million. I'm right there with Kylie Jenner.
Okay.
No, it looks like about 16 people, Mike.
Okay. Well, hello, everybody. My name is Mike. I am an adjunct instructor. I'm a full-time staff member, but an adjunct instructor using the Business-Driven Technology book. And I figured I would share a little bit about my process. This is the second year I'm teaching the class out of this book, and the challenges and you know, what I do and what I would love to see, but obviously take this with a huge grain of salt because this isn't my full-time gig, so I only do it a couple times a year. The way it works, at least with me, is I'm trying to do more of a flipped classroom where I have the kids do I say kids, some of them are older than me, but I have my students do the exercises online, and then when they come into the classroom, I try and keep lecture down to a minimum, and I try and keep it as focused as possible on real-world practical applications on the concepts in the book. So, hey, we're going to teach you about this concept. Now I want you to go and research the 8 different vendors that are out there, and not only are you going to research the 8 different vendors, you're going to get together in little groups, and you're going to figure out which one's best for this fake company I made up. And so I try and drive some conversation, interactivity, and there's also a huge group project. The reason why I share that is what I have been doing is I've been taking this stuff, the instructor resources, I go through them, and they're sort of like, to me at least, they're skeletal. They're like, hey, here's this thing you can do in the class, and there's lots and lots of them, and I appreciate that, but they're not as fleshed out, and there seems to be a lack of different modalities. Now, this could be very unique to me because it's 3 hours on a Monday night, and trying to fire them up is really difficult. So what I've found is I like the videos, but maybe different interactivities as it relates to some of the other online learning resources, if we could bring them into this, maybe fleshed out options. Another thing that would be really useful to me is this exercise should take 10 minutes. This exercise should take 15 minutes. Give them X number of minutes on this. So the more I have as far as managing it, it allows me to plan that 3 hours out. That would be a huge help. And like I said, this is a video, this one's an interactive, you know, potentially different categories so I can mix and match and get them moving around.
Oh, Mike, you're preaching to the choir, and I love you. Thank you for your candid feedback. That's awesome. 2 things. Number 1, wow, a 1 3-hour section. Oh, God love you. that's tough to keep anyone excited. I'm not even sure Kylie Jenner could pull that one off. But I do think there's two things. Is number one, I have customers that use these books at every level. So it's really hard to say 10 minutes because it really depends on the student. But that's something I could definitely try to work in, is that if you're teaching, you know, freshmen from this book, this is the level. If you're teaching executive, and I teach freshman to executive MBA, and I get it. I move quicker or faster or slower, but that's a great idea, is to put some type of, I think this is the time frame. The other thing I'm working on, and I'd love your feedback on this, is I think doing a lot of different things can be fun, but you don't get the depth that the students really need. You get a breadth, but not a depth. But one of the things I'm working on is a mini case. So not a 12-week case, but some type of a mini case where it could be a 2-hour and it has different components. So I never know. And one of the hard parts of this course is it's taught everywhere. It's taught at every level, and it's taught with or without tools, meaning Excel or Access, or it's really hard to know how to use it. But I thought if I could do some mini cases where you were really tasked with a business challenge for a real business with a video, and then the instructor could go in a couple different ways. You could then dig in deeper. Well, here's the Excel data that we have from marketing and finance and accounting, and they're all different granularities, different types of data. How do you then come up? Or we could go into, here are the things going on in the social media on 5 different platforms. Your marketing, what are you going to do? Oh, here, you know, I've been really thinking about trying to build something, and that's the whole purpose of this WebEx, was something tangible that could be done. And if you're in one 3-hour class, that would be amazing, because in 3 hours, they could actually really peel out the onion layers and get to the root problem. Or you could do it over 2 weeks where they're really building it. But, you know, students today want snackable content. I like to call it snackable. They're not going to read the book. They're not going to, you know, they really want to dig into something, and they want to start working, and they want to get their hands wet. And I love that, but it's also a hard dynamic to feed into a textbook. It has to be a dynamic supplement. So it's something I'm really thinking about is, you know, mini cases. Something where you,
as a follow-up question, and I don't know if this would be helpful to you. I don't think, because I'm making a lot of my exercises up myself, I probably put in about 2 hours to every class hour I teach, so 2 to 2.5, something like that. So usually I spend 1 day putting together exercises for that class. I don't mind sharing those with you, the stuff that I've done. Is there a community of people who teach out of these books, like a forum or something where I can post and say, this is what I've done, where you could take it, you know, expand it, contract it, use ideas? I don't care. R&D, rip off and duplicate. I'm fine with it.
I swear to God, it's like I planted you in the audience. That, I'm not sure what's going on, but it's really weird. But that is what I'm thinking of building, is a forum, an MIS forum, and where faculty can connect, can ask those questions. Hey, the one topic I always hate teaching is ERP, because ERP seems stupid. You're like, hey, ERP, everything works, and the student's like, okay. And you're like, yeah, no, this is like the hardest thing ever. It's years, it's millions of, you know. And so, yes, that is one of the things I wanted to get out of this is what do faculty need? And I believe we need a forum, an MIS forum, where we can put, hey, I'm really struggling with this, or hey, this worked well. And especially, I mean, right now at DU, we're integrating analytics and we're booming. And I have 7 adjuncts teaching for me right now. And they are anything from PhD students to people from our advisory board who have their own companies who just want to give back. And it's amazing to see as they get up and running, like I forget, oh my gosh, they even, like all the problems you have just trying to manage and mitigate the classroom and getting things done. And I thought that's exactly what we need as an MIS forum, a place where faculty can come and share and talk and discuss and get great. I have so many great ideas. And I got to tell you, even just discussing, one of the greatest things a faculty shared with me is a rule that I have used, that when I share it, people, this hour of your time will be worth it if you haven't heard of this rule. And it's called 3 before me. And I literally put it in my syllabus as the number 3, a capital B, a 4, and ME, 3 before me. And I tell my students, I will bend over backwards for you. I love my students, but you have to put skin in the game. They are not allowed to come to me unless they've done 3 things to solve the problem first. And when they come to me, I will say, what 3 things have you done? And it can be anything from I looked at the syllabus to I asked a friend to I Googled it. I don't care what they've done. but I was inundated with emails. When's the exam? Well, you know, just stuff they should be able to do. And I'm telling you, when my friend shared with me from the University of Florida, 3 before me, it cut down on 70% of my emails. And I really believe this is a real world skill. I do not go to the chair of my department unless I've done 3 things. And I say, Dr. Bukowski, I've done these 3 things. I'm having a problem. Can you help me? And so it's setting them a really good ethical value for the real world, and it helps me really mitigate the classroom. So that's something I openly share with everyone. I encourage you to do it. I swear it helped me. It helped us. I was getting emails going, you know, one time I was teaching online. This is great. I was teaching online, and our system doesn't say online. It said classroom TBD. And I got 50 emails, where is classroom TBD? And I was like, okay, to be determined, no classroom, you know, just things like that, like just helping them manage their life. So there's so much we could do with a forum, from classroom teaching topics to lifesavers like that to great classroom. I talk with so many faculty like you, Mike, who is so willing to share what they're doing, but there really isn't that platform yet. So that's something I'm really looking at building, is a platform for sharing. So thank you. And now that we've dominated, is there anyone else that we have like 10 minutes left? Does anyone else have something to add?
If anyone's speaking, just make sure that the microphone to the right of your name is not red, so it would be black. And I can chat. I've been looking at the chat too. If you'd prefer to stay on mute, that's fine too. You can enter your question or comment in the chat.
Hi, this is.
Read that. Go ahead. Sorry.
This is Ted Wallerstead. So I really like the idea of using the same case or different aspects of the same case throughout the whole course. I haven't seen that case. Can you tell us about what's in it?
Oh, absolutely. So it's a fantastic supplement that we built. Lisa, Julia, can you pass it back to me? Thank you.
Sure.
And then I can show the case. You know, this is funny. We built this case, oh goodness, a few years ago. And Amy, my co-author, and I, we just decided like it was for us. We built it for, you can see me now, right? Can you see me now? Yeah.
You have the ball, but we don't actually see your screen yet.
Oh, okay, hold on, I gotta share. 1 second. Gotta get everything working here. Okay, 1 second. Share. Can you see me now?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Perfect.
So this was Amy and I, we were getting a lot of feedback on the books and the materials that, you know, the students are learning all these things, but they're not really leaving the classroom getting it. So we built this cohesion case, and this is just on my own website. It's just something Amy and I built over about a week. It really was just something we had fun with, and this is what I love to do. And so we put up the premise that they inherit their grandfather's coffee shop, and it is their grandfather's. There is no technology. It is old school. It is just like a cute little building, you know, in Brooklyn or something. And they're tasked with, over the course of the material, coming in, or over the course of the semester or quarter, coming in and really rebuilding the coffee shop. And the nice thing is we built this back in 2007. I'm really getting old. We just put the copyright on there for fun. Back then we didn't even know if it would still be going in 2017. But it's something we're going to rebuild this year. But under every single area, so if you came into ethics, you're going to see 4 little dilemmas. And here we actually, Mike, we did times. So in the instructor manual, which I'll send out for this afterwards, and this is just free. We just put it on our website as something, you know, something we were using. The business dilemma is about 10 minutes. It's a classroom opener. Now, I wouldn't suggest using this in every class because it gets old, but, you know, every other class. So they'll have like a little 10-minute ethical dilemma. You received an inappropriate joke from a fellow employee that was offensive, and what are you going to do? Just things they might actually encounter when they're running their business. Then we had 2 making business decisions. To us, this was a half-hour kind of a project. This could be using some type of tool like Excel. So in here we have the company down the street wants to buy your grandpa's data. They want to know who they are. They're offering you a large sum of money for the email addresses and phone numbers. Are you going to sell it? So again, just a nice little, and somehow when we built it, it was timeless. We really didn't think about it at that point. A little bit of it is outdated, but we're going to go fix that over the next few months. But honestly, people are still using this case, and it's a great way to get them engaged. And this is a net neutrality debate, which is still going on today. So still living there. So the making business decisions could be used as a homework, an in-class activity. The apply your knowledge is always like a serious project. It could be Access, Excel. This one is going to give them some data. They're going to have to go run with it. So we really tried to build it dynamically, and you can use them in any order. One of the things we hear about this class is one teacher focuses on ethics throughout the quarter, one teacher likes security, one teacher likes marketing, one teacher likes analytics. So it's like, how do we write this book from chapter 1 to 12 when everybody's doing something different? So the cohesion case was a way that you can actually pick up any of these topics in any order. They don't bleed on each other. You can use any book. I mean, we're open to that. Like, we're hoping that if you love this, you'll love us and help support us. But you know, it's about the bigger picture and helping the students. And so that's why we always give it away for free. It's on our website. And again, you'll always see the business dilemma, which would be a great little classroom opener or discussion. And then 2, making business decisions, which is a bit bigger. This is a Porter's 5 Forces analysis of your coffee shop. And this one is a JPEG. Oh, this one is great. This is a business process. So this is how the restaurant looks. And clearly we set it up purposely problems. We have the pay area in the wrong place. So how would they re-engineer the process just to walk through the restaurant and sell it? So the students love doing that. So we're using everything we've done to build this little website. It's great. It's fun. It's free. It's just something we gave to our customers because we were using it anyways. And I got to tell you, whether I use this at the freshman level to the executive MBA, they love saving this coffee shop. They come in at their final presentations and they have, you know, labels on new coffee bottles, and they've printed mugs, and they are dying to save this coffee shop. They feel very validated in applying, and they love it. It's a weird way to, I hate to use the word dupe, but dupe them into learning the material while applying it to a business. And they run with this baby, and they love it. And it is outdated, I got to tell you, a little busy these days, but it's one of the things that we've just put out there for free out of the goodness of our hearts because we love our customers, we love our students, we're here to learn and educate. And it has gone up. I have people from Nepal contact me using it. I have people all over the world using this case, and I really want to spend some time over the summer building about 5 more. It is outdated. I need to update it. Again, it's just something I put out there, but it's something that people really enjoy. So if you have any ideas or want to participate in helping build some of these out, I've had the only people I ever had complain about it is one of my schools, it's against their religion to drink coffee. And I was like, oh gosh, didn't even think about that. So I've got to rebuild some sites for maybe if there's religious or ethical reasons you don't like coffee. Oh, okay. So I'm trying to think of really great ideas that would engage students today. So I know extreme sports are big in Denver. A lot of kids come here to ski. So I know I'm going to build one on extreme sports, perhaps an e-business, perhaps sports analytics. I mean, I don't know. Anything I can do to help your students get engaged helps us all create a better future for our students. So if you haven't seen this, when Lisa sends out the email to follow up, I will send you all the instructor materials. It is out there. They can Google most of the answers, but it is kind of open-ended so that you can apply it. And I got to tell you, every time I do this in the class, the students love it. It's just they really want to save Grandpa's business. So I will send that out. If you have ideas on how to revamp it, I'm in that mode right now. I'm trying to revamp the supplements that help the class. I've rewritten the database chapter for 20 years. It's not getting any better. I swear I tried, but it's as good as it's going to get. So if I can help, we also built, those of you teaching Access, we built a separate site for the Access database to run the coffee shop. So in class, they're building the database for their coffee shop. So I have that too. It's fantastic. They have to do the ERDs. They build the entire database to run there, and then they're totally hooked. They love it. So anyone who has ideas, now again, this is a really long case. You're going to use it probably throughout the quarter. So I'm also thanking mini cases but I just appreciate your time so much today and listening and just brainstorming what could we do to help you. So thank you so much for that question, Ted. And Ted, I'm going to personally follow up with you about what you think about the case when you have a chance to look at it.
I've been checking it out. It looks really cool. I'd love to see more.
Okay, great. I'm going to pass this back to you, Lisa.
Okay.
We're almost running out of time. So Lisa has some great ideas too. I know some of you are quiet. I know I threw a lot at you, just like my classrooms. Trust me, my students are shell-shocked sometimes too. But please feel free to reach out to me personally at the end of the PowerPoints or my email. Any ideas, suggestions, hey, I'll take the derogatory remarks. Just like my students, I tell them the negative feedback is sometimes the best because it helps you become a better student. And anything you can do, even negative, will help me become a better author, help my customers. I'm open to it. Please reach out to me. Anything you saw you liked, any ideas you have. I'm actively working on building some really great community resources for the MIS faculty. So back to you, Lisa.
Great. All right. I don't know if you want to pass the ball back over to me, and I can quickly share my screen, but we can also wrap it up. If anybody has any further quick questions, feel free to.
Sorry.
Okay. No, that's all right.
Oh, did it go? Sorry.
Oh, yes. I got it.
I teach, those of us who do not use, I teach technology. I'm not always great at it, but I'm getting there. You have it now. Okay, great. Thanks.
Yes. So, so I was just, I hope you can see, can you see my screen now that has the Connect site?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So what I did is, this is just a quick, this is just this main page for the instructor resources inside of Connect. And so for those of you who do use Connect, you would, in the library tab of your Connect course is where you link into the instructor resources. And then you'll see, this is her previous edition of Business-Driven Information Systems, but you'll see all of the various instructor resources that are available there. And the Cohesion Case, the website is in that paragraph there, www.cohesioncase.com. And then the support materials are also available there as well, to the left. So there's a bunch of resources there, and this is where we will post additional content that as Paige develops it, we can share this with you through the instructor resources. But what I will do just as the marketing manager through our database of instructors, I'll send an email to everyone in that database just to give you a heads up that there are some additional resources posted, so you'll know. So just recently we posted some additional videos. Oh, that's a pop-up blocker that I have on my screen. But there's some additional videos there that have been linked into the course. They're not specific to this book. We would have pulled them from other resources, but still the content and the application applies to different topics that you'd be covering in this course. And so we'll load content that Paige developed that she just brought up in this presentation here. We can load that into this instructor resources as well. So you can look for new and innovative resources through your Connect site in the instructor resources. And the 6th edition book that just published, the instructor resources haven't been posted yet, but we anticipate those to be up probably in the next month. So your rep or I can share those with you at any time. So we really want to thank you for joining us. This presentation has been recorded, and so I will post this to our website at mhhe.com. You can refer to it back, and we will certainly be in touch with you on an individual basis as well. So thank you for joining us.
Yes,
we appreciate your participation. Yep.
Sorry, I just wanted to say I really appreciate your time. I know how busy you are. I know how busy I am. And I know how many WebEx invites you get. So I can't tell you how much I appreciate your feedback, both Mike and Ted. Thank you so much. And any of you that have ideas or creativity, please be in touch. I'm open to anything, and I really think, as a united group, we can really make this major rock.
Great. Well, thank you all for joining us. we will let you have the rest of your day back, and we'll be in touch. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, all.
Thank you.
Paige, are you still on?